Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin and today I'm going to go through my favorite romance book tropes and match them with a title. I have sorted the tropes in alphabetical order, so nothing like this is the trope I like the most to the least or something like that. So it's just alphabetical. And the first trope is Envisa Lovers, and for this one I chose The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. And this is just absolutely amazing because the two main characters, Olive and Ethan. So Olive and Ethan are the siblings to the bride and groom. It starts out at this wedding and then there's kind of like a buffet, and Olive and Ethan are the only ones who do not eat. And they are also the only ones that do not get food poisoning. And because of food poisoning, the newlyweds cannot go on their honeymoon, and to not have that to go to waste, they decide that, oh, Olive has the same last name as the bride. So the same last name as is the name on the ticket for the bride. And Ethan has the same last name as the groom's last name on the ticket. The sister, the newlywed wife, says that, oh, you can go with him to Polynesia, they go to Maui, and have the honeymoon, pretend to be married, pretend to be us newlyweds, just have the time of your life kind of thing. Like, it will do both siblings good to get away, relax, sun, bathe, like everything kind of like that. And they accept and they go there. It is both kind of fake dating, fake newlyweds, as well as a kind of vacation romance and enemies to lovers. And they absolutely despise each other at the beginning of the book, and seeing them kind of pretend to be into each other because they're pretending to be newlyweds, but at the same time they completely despise the other one. And it's just such a fun book, and I absolutely adore this book. The second trope that I love is fake dating, and a book that I absolutely adore that has this trope is Spencer Cohen. So the Spencer Cohen series is about Spencer Cohen, who is a guy who kind of, as a side job, he offers to fake date people. So people, his clients, come in and say, hey, I want you to fake date me and stuff like that. And so they set up dates, they do a lot of stuff pretending to be in a relationship. So he has that kind of like a side hustle, you know. And it's a romance, it's a mainly romance. He falls in love with his client, Andrew, while Andrew is trying to get his ex jealous. It's a whole thing, and Spencer Cohen is such a relatable character. He has no relationship to his parents, he has no relationship to his family. He is Australian living in the US, so he left a whole life behind him, and I relate to him a lot. The third trope is forbidden love. So this is kind of where two people like each other, want each other, but they can't really have each other, and at the end, because it's a romance, they get their happily ever after. And for this trope I chose autobiography. One of the main characters, the love interest, is LDS, so he is a Mormon, and he grew up in the church. He's active in the church, and the church is very outspoken against queer people, and so he is gay and in love with this openly bisexual guy who just moved to this town, and it's kind of like they have to keep it a secret and they can't really be together, and it's so angsty, but it's in a good way. I don't know, but it really fits this trope very well, and it's one of my absolute favorite books. The next trope is forced proximity, and there's only just one book on my shelves that I felt like this really took it home kind of thing, and that is Want to Watch. Because Want to Watch is a story surrounding The Main Squeeze, which is a reality TV show based on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. And so we have our main character B, who is fat, and she gets the chance to be the next Main Squeeze in the show The Main Squeeze, because she has critiqued the show for their lack of diversity in body shapes and stuff like that. So she gets the chance to be on this show, and it is forced proximity because they are literally forced together. she and all the guys, all the suitors, are basically forced into the same space. So it's definitely forced proximity. Then we have the trope friends to lovers. And what book is better suited for this than Aristotle and Dante by Benjamin Alire-Sanz? And this is the story of Aristotle, who is kind of trying to figure out who he is, and he doesn't have any friends, and then he finds Dante and they become best friends very quickly. They're just amazing friends, and they're just, it's a beautiful story. It's an absolutely a beautiful story. The next trope I want to talk about is actually one of my absolute favorite tropes of all time, but I feel like I'm very alone in it because the trope is single parent. And for this I chose Made in London, and it is a female-female romance, and one of the women has a daughter, you can see her there, and I just absolutely love stories like romance novels where a child or a pet is involved. Like, I just think that's so adorable and so amazing. So I absolutely love single parent romances. Like, they deserve romance stories as well, you know? The next trope I want to talk about is also one of my absolute favorites, and it's sports. I love sports. I'm like a sports freak. When there's like a world championship going on, I'm glued to the TV. And because I have multiple nationalities, Sweden and Germany play at the same time. I have Sweden on one screen and Germany on another screen, simultaneously watching both. I am a huge sports nerd. Like, hockey and handball are my main things, but if it's a soccer tournament, I am watching it. But for this trope, I chose Check Please. So this is surrounding hockey, obviously, and I absolutely, as I said, I love hockey. And this is a story about Biddy, and he loves baking, and he starts at this college playing, like joining the hockey team and kind of finding his way there, and he is gay and he's just trying to figure out a lot of things, and it's so adorable. It's just so adorable. Like, this book, I think about it every day, and I'm like, I want to read the second book. I want to read the second book. Now that it's Valentine's on, I am going to read the second book. And the last trope on my list is Wingmen. And by this I mean that the two people are brought together by someone or something else. Kind of like 101 Dalmatians. I don't remember his name, but one of the Dalmatians kind of wrap around his owners and the woman's legs. Kind of like that, you know the scene? That's kind of what I have in mind for Wingman. And for this I chose Finders Keepers, and as you can see, it involves a cute dog. And this is a male romance. It starts off with this guy who moves to this new place, trying to like settle in, find things, like getting a sense of the community and the scenery and stuff like that. So he's by the beach and he sees a dog that is completely a mess, muddy and everything. So he takes in the dog and cleans him up and stuff like that, and then finds the owner, and the owner turns out to be queer, just like the main character. And it is a male romance featuring an adorable dog set in Australia. I absolutely love it. That was it for all my favorite romance tropes and a book to go with it. I hope you enjoyed, and please let me know if you want to see more of these videos, maybe for another genre. Anything like that, just let me know. Until next time, good reading. Bye!